What I find really interesting about Oshinoko episode 9 is how the group feels like they're so close to massive success, and obviously each character in a show like this will have their own internal struggles, but right now the focus is without a doubt on Kana, who is obviously a fan favorite character. I love her to death. I think she's an amazing addition to this cast. But her biggest issue right now is that lack of confidence, which makes total sense, especially given that, imagine being a once proud and everyone knew your name child actress to then just almost being tossed away and doing garbage shows because that's about all you can get anymore. That obviously will do a lot to your self-esteem. Add in a teenage broken heart where the boy you like seemingly is not all that interested in you. The lack of confidence makes total sense, and I'm not saying it doesn't, but that is seemingly the one thing that is holding this idol group back, as you have Mem pretty much, she's right then and there. Like, she wants to be the center, she wants to be the one the eyes are glued on. Of course, Ruby, same thing, where then you have someone like Kana just kind of in the background, just wanting to fade away almost, and I'm gonna be really interested to see how they handle her character going forward, because a character like Kana is going to excel far more than she'll ever fail, and honestly, she probably won't fail as a character at all because she just is that great. Now, full live reaction to episode 9 is available on my Patreon if you do want to see my full uncut thoughts as I watched this wonderful setup style episode, which is really what it is, but if you do want to see that, you can head on over there and consider supporting. And setup doesn't equal bad. Anytime I claim something as more of a setup, sometimes people will get on their keyboards acting like I'm insulting. It's like, no. If everything was just non-stop murder or craziness, then a show would just feel like it's moving to plot point with no room to breathe. This is kind of what that episode is. It's a breathing room, and in doing so, we get some funny moments, we get some setup moments, especially with Aqua, but most importantly, a character like Kana gets to really flex who she'll be in this group, especially given how she feels like the outsider, the outcast that doesn't really believe this group will succeed or last long enough to matter, where the other two are very much gung-ho, this is going to be the next second coming, and Ai's idol group will be proud because the second generation can be just as great as the first, right? Now, Kana as a character, like I said, is very interesting given who she was as a child actress turned now feeling like a failure, and I love how they ended this episode because they're arguing who should be the center of the group, right? And immediately, if you just look at it at a visual level, visually, Kana makes the most sense to be the center just because you have two more or less blonde characters than the redhead. It just visually would work unless she wanted to dye her hair, then it wouldn't matter. But immediately you start thinking, what if they go that direction? Or at least I know I did. And when you see the karaoke, because they're like, hey, whoever gets best at karaoke can do it. And then you have Mem as well as Ruby basically listening in on some of the other songs she did, not just including the cute little broccoli commercial or whatever the hell you want to call that thing was when she was a kid. And you see she has a beautiful voice, and if that doesn't scream, yeah, she's the perfect fit for something like this, I don't know what is, especially given that her score was like 97 at karaoke. But the thing that is holding her back is her confidence, right? She has no confidence that the boy that she clearly thinks she's madly in love with will basically flirt or compliment anyone as cute. And then also she has this failure of an acting career, at least that's how it's feeling to her. So it makes a lot of sense, and I think that's what makes a group like this interesting. You have the daughter of the most popular idol in their generation who can't tell people that, it's a secret, and feels like she just wants to live up to her mom's image. You then have a YouTuber slash TikToker who has a very impressive internet following, but is older than she says she is, right? Gets confirmed that she's 25, right? So in doing so, idols in general, there's a couple recently that got announced. I forget the group names, but I saw that they're in their 30s, which is pretty rare for Japan because often it's like, hey, they get like 18-year-old idols, 16-year-old idols, and then if they don't get big enough by 25, they usually tell them to hit the road. That's just the nature of the business, right? So you have that struggle there, and then you have the failed, I tried my passion and got tossed away. Why would I try for a second passion? That probably is going to fail. Rewind to episode 1 with Ai, right? She was barely making any money despite being a pretty popular name at multiple points. That's just the nature of the business. It just, realistically, go get an office job probably makes a lot more sense than trying at this foolish dream. So it's nice to see what they're able to do with this group and that struggle. And if someone like Kana can overcome that self-loathing and really start to feel like she's trying again, then it will be really interesting to see what they do, because right now they're practicing singing and dancing the original group songs, which makes sense if you're waiting for someone to make you new music and stuff. And it'll be interesting because they have a gig lined up a month from now, and obviously that's pretty freaky given that they've never done anything like that. So I'm expecting probably one new song will be in there mixed with some old I songs and stuff. That would make a lot of sense to me, but either way, really good stuff. We get the payoff with the producer who lives up to his word. He takes him out for lunch and he gives them some information, but most importantly sets up the next person we'll be investigating, or at least the area where basically we learn that is kind of what kickstarted Ai's love for kind of being interested in anything. As he refers to her, when he found her, she was more or less a country bumpkin, had no interest in appearance or anything, but once she found that acting stage, you know, it just kind of all started kicking off a bit more. And if we rewind to when our girl kind of like did the eye pose, it's literally the exact same spot, so it makes a lot of sense. What I like about him is when someone like Aqua's like, why are you doing this? Because really, he doesn't need to go out of his way more so than he's currently doing, and it pretty much gets thrown down as like, I see potential in you, and I could probably make a lot of money off someone like you, so yeah, I'm gonna be sticking by, and it makes a lot of sense from a business perspective. Invest in the young talent, because that young talent, despite saying he's not a good actor, he can see like, yeah, this kid's going places, and I'd rather be side by side than potentially in his crosshairs. I mean, it just makes a lot of sense. The funniest moment, hands down, though, was when we're in the classroom and that one girl pops up talking about the dating show, but how like, oh, there's all these handsome boys and all these pretty girls, and she's like, if I was a dude, I would have took that one and pinned her down, and I'm like, bruh, what? That escalated rather quick, but goddamn, that's some unexpected comedy. That's what I like about this show, right? Is it knows how to slow down, it knows how to get different characters the spotlight, and really make it feel like all these characters can lead an episode. Like, this was arguably one of the least focused Aqua episodes, yet all the characters really just stole the show every time they were speaking. The cute, the goofy, the intense, the self-loathing, and just feeling like this is a story about characters' journeys first and foremost. The revenge murder side is kind of like the second element that is amazing and we love seeing it, but that the reason why a show like this excels is that the characters are actually really well written. And I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I totally thought this was the second to last episode because, I mean, I knew it was an 11 episode series, and everything else is pretty much around the episode 10 mark, and I totally forgot we had that week break, so hey, we still have 2 more episodes, 2 more weeks of that Oshinoko greatness, and maybe if we're lucky enough, the anime gods will bless us with a confirmation of a season 2 when this one does end. But either way, the show and season has been fantastic. Let me know what you thought, though, down below on this episode. I loved it quite a bit, very setup style, but gets the momentum rolling for the final 2, in my opinion, so let me know what you thought down below. Leave a like if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new around here, ring that bell so you can get notified when I upload more Oshinoko on the channel, and as I mentioned, full live reaction to this wonderful episode is available on my Patreon if you're interested, and while you're there, you can also get a video shoutout. So today we have Fluid Druid, Austin Police, Goob, and James Wright. So I appreciate the support, everyone. Please take care and have a good one.